Eternity, our first map in the losers bracket of HGC 2024. Oh yeah. So, we're talking Hanzo Genji Cup, obviously, just to make that very, very clear. Best of 5 series between the Squeal Team 6 and the Anti-Clown Association. We're down to 3 teams in the tournament. $1,000 on the line here, powered, sponsored by Kevin, by Psychiv, who has been the Heroes of the Storm Sugar Daddy for a long time now. This is a North American tournament, meaning that all of the games are being played out on the NA server. The starting times were all a little bit more lenient towards an NA-friendly starting time, and the North American players and scene have been fully taking advantage of that. So now we're going into our first game of the best of 5 series here, and it is Battlefield of Eternity. So let's go. Let's see who is able to take the lead on this one. Now, guys, in the meantime, one thing, and I'm gonna throw that out, I would really like, after being still loyal to the Heroes of the Storm community for the last 6-7 years, ever since Blizzard decided to kill HGC, I would like to hit a goal, and you guys can help me, and it's gonna cost you nothing. Absolutely nada. What I would really like to do is, with the YouTube channel that I have, to hit at some point that 100,000k mark. Because apparently there are certain tiers where you get like a plaque from YouTube or something, and I really want to get one of these. And I don't have one yet. So, you could sub to the channel. I know that the majority of people that watches these videos on YouTube doesn't actually sub to the channel. So, if you would like to see more Heroes of the Storm content in the future, even when Stormgate is out, which is likely going to be my new game that I'm going to focus on a lot of time, but if you want to have more Heroes of the Storm content, and also if you want to give me a bit of a thank you for the last 6-7 years, hit that sub button on YouTube. Doesn't cost you anything at all, and I'm going to probably push this over the next couple of months a little bit, and it would be really sweet if you would hit that, because that would be... it would be pretty cool. It would be a bit of validation that we have at least a channel here in Heroes of the Storm where we can pull something like that off. So if you haven't done it yet, hit that sub button. And thank you in advance. Maiev is a first pick, by the way, for the Squeal team. So already signaling that they want to be heavily aggressive here. Then on top of that, we get Junkrat and Blaze for the Anti-Clown Association. Now, one thing that I should probably point out is that ACA already played one series today. So they started playing against the Storm League Enjoyers, and they were able to win that one. And that means if they are able to perform that full run into the grand final, where they would then face off against 30k, that would then be their 3rd series in a day to play. So there's always an advantage when you're coming from the winner bracket, and the advantage is simply you play less games. You can prepare more, you can check out what your opponents are doing, and you're a lot fresher when you're heading into the match. So a team that has to go for a full loser bracket run is usually warmed up, granted, but also a little bit tired and oftentimes exhausted, because you've been drained by playing games time and time again. Diablo and Urel, already a very nice combo for Porky and his boys, and this might actually become a bit of a battle for Diablo as the series continues, because Porky loves to play Dibbles, and we have seen Godfilth pick Diablo essentially whenever he had a chance to do so. In this case, they prioritized some other heroes higher than the main tank, but I'm pretty sure if he would have got an opportunity, he would have gone for it. Lots of bans against heroes that are fantastic on the Immortal, by the way. That leaves us with heroes like Lunara, Li Ming is still up, Jimmy with Exterminator, but look what's getting banned here. They're banning Greymane, they're banning Chromie, they're banning Hanzo, Vala. And now we get Arthas plus Stukov. So that Arthas play, once again, that we have seen in the past from the Anti-Clown Association. I really like the Arthas moves. We don't see them a lot, but when it happens, I love it. So they kind of convinced me that Arthas every now and then is actually pretty sweet. I've lost my faith in the boy, but yeah, they're trying to restore it. Li Ming is in, and we get Malfurion. So Li Ming and Malfurion, that leaves us with the final pick for the Anti-Clown Association. And what's it gonna be? A little bit more damage, could be melee, it's totally fine, but they need something that can still pack a bit of a punch. If they really wanted to, they could, for example, also go into, let's say, Thrall, try and target Diablo a little bit with Alpha Wolf later, make a few plays around this. Yeah, melee would be fine, but they need something that helps them on the Immortal. It's game number 1 in the best of 5 series. We get Sylvanas. Of course we do. I forgot about Roger here. My bad. And let's head straight into the first map of the series here between the Anti-Clown Association and Squeal Team 6. Game number 1 on the left, Porky on Diablo, Nintori on Malfurion, we have Naz on Urel, Sakatora on Maiev, and Brandon is playing Li Ming. On the right side of the map, we got the Anti-Clown Association with Roger back on Sylvanas. This is the hero that he belongs to. We have Kelsia on Junkrat, Mason Blaze on Blaze, Valamar on Stukov, and got Filth on Arthas. Honestly, the way that Roger has been locking in Sylvanas every single time that he has an opportunity to do so, it kind of makes me a little bit suspicious. Maybe it is Kevin with his Smurf account, who knows. Kevin has, I believe, 8,000 or 9,000 games on Sylvanas with his main account, and I'm sure the guy runs a Smurf account too. So I wouldn't be shocked if that was it right here. He's playing in his own tournament. Sneaky! Nah. He could though. If he would be guaranteed to get Sylvanas every single draft, I think he could actually pull it off. We need to introduce some kind of tournament where that is a rule. Kevin can play on a team and you can never pick Sylvanas away from him, just to make it kind of fun. But yeah. Now either way, we already have the Emerald Dreams on the left. We are getting Force Armor for Li Ming. And Diablo is actually catching Sylvanas in the middle for just a second here. Well, there's a follow-up potentially. Arthas is trying to help out. Howling Blast. By the way, he did not go for the Howling Blast quest this time, but instead we're having him with his block variations, so going for Rhyme on level 1. Oh, Diablo! Again with the engage, the tether, and it's Dibbles that falls. They wanted to go for Kelsia and take him down, but Dibbles is the one that gets destroyed instead, so kinda unfortunate for him, but a good, nice opening now for the red team. The Anti-Clown Association starting things off with a double kill. 2 kills against the Squeal team, and yep, definitely off to a good start here. So, can they capitalize on that and take the Squeal team out, move on to the grand final, where they would then of course face off against none other than 30k, who from the beginning has always been hailed as the top dog, the big boss of the tournament. But Filth at the front, getting attacked there very quickly. Needs to be a little bit careful. So far things are working out for him. But then again, we now got Dibbles with 12 stacks on his baseline, slowly building up his soul stacks and riding into battle still on the money pick. So yeah, Porky definitely embracing the power. And is it actually a surprise how well the Squeal team did against 30k in the winner bracket final, considering that they finally embraced the power of the money pick? There has been a very persistent rumor throughout the years that if you ride the money pick, that you actually have a 5% damage increase on your hero. And I have not been able to confirm or deny that, but it's a very persistent rumor. People keep saying it, people keep talking about it. And again, I'm not saying it's true, but I'm saying that once they pick the money pick, you know, things went pretty alright for them. So who knows, there might be some... Can you afford to give up a potential 5% damage boost? That's the real question. Just in case, it's a little bit like Pascal's wager. So it's Pascal's wager in the Nexus. That's essentially what it is. AKA, you should ride the money pick. Just in case, you know? So, first objective is up. And off we go. At the top, still a bit of pressure being pushed out as they are trying to defeat the camp. And well, that's where Urel obviously is very, very useful. As you could just see, pushes the Shaman straight into the thingy, the towers, and that's it. Oh, and talking about that's it. That might be it for Arthas if he isn't careful here. He got locked down very quickly and nearly destroyed. They were able to save him. Thankfully, a lot of survivability on him, but now the blue team is really trying to get some kills here, aren't they? They're driving the Anti-Clown Association all the way down to the bottom of the map towards their fort and doing pretty darn good on it. So, that wasn't too shabby. Blaze is all the way topside back again, looking for level 7 for the team. That's of course the idea that they have here. One of the main reasons why Li Ming is so good on this map is, by the way, that outside of her dominating potentially in team fights with nice resets, is that she can always YOLO a combo against the opponent's Immortal, and then you have just a choice of either letting the combo go through and the Immortal slowly taking damage, or your heroes have to eat it up and will slowly get poked down, putting pressure onto the healer and potentially lead to kills later on. Talking about kills, my F gets taken down. That's the 3rd kill now for the Anti-Clown Association. We have not seen a single kill for their opponent yet, and they might get another one. Well, Nas is in trouble, and Nas is gone. Level 7 is, of course, giving the red team a boost now, but they are able to get 1 kill after another here. And they are also able to win the halftime show. This is a fantastic start for the Anti-Clown Association. 4 kills to 0. They're doing very, very well here. And let's just see how far this goes. The interesting part is that these two teams have obviously met already a few times. So, first of all, Porky. Yep, Porky gets taken down. That's kill number 5. And ACA is on an absolute tear. They're getting another kill against Maiev, and damn, they're crushing it here. It's ridiculous. They have a 1.5 level lead. They're nearly 2 levels ahead, if we're honest about it. And they're going to destroy with the help of Sylvanas. Even without her, they would have taken that fort. But with the help of Sylvanas, that fort gets murdered within seconds. This is massive for them. This is absolutely massive. This is such a big lead, only 5 minutes into the game. They could push for the wall on the keep too, which they, I guess, don't have to because the fight is forced away from the gate. The Immortal is taking most of it out already. I'm a little bit floored by how well they're doing, and now they got level 10. I mean, if anything, I'm a bit surprised that they didn't try and get more value out of level 10. I suppose that push at the bottom of the map is more where they're looking at now. But just look at this big gap in experience between them. It's a 2-level lead right now. This is such a big window on level 10, and you got Sylvanas. They're popping army here. That's going to be the second fort that gets destroyed, and this is only a 4-man at the bottom of the map. So this situation is absolutely incredible for the Anti-Clown Association. The Squeal team might not have woken up properly yet. Maybe they need a coffee or an energy drink. I don't know what fits the bill here, but I can tell you that they need something. So the attacks keep coming, and that bottom fort is definitely going to get destroyed, which means that both of the forts are just gone. And that is bad news in this first game of the best of 5. So things are looking very, very good for the red team, and they are trying to capitalize on that lead further and further. As always, the golden rule of esports: when ahead, get more ahead. And that's what they're trying to do. Once that level 10 abilities are ready for the Squeal team, then of course it's time to try and fight back here. But at least for now, there's nothing that they can do. It's 6 kills to 0. There's absolutely no options for them. Now things are going to change with the second objective. Yeah, this is going to change things slightly, but it's already going to be a bit tough. Now, here's the moment though. Level 10 kicks in. Now you can make your moves. We're getting, first and foremost, a Lightning Breath from Diablo. Tranquility is in. And this is the big chance. This is the big opportunity to start to fight back. And if you miss that chance, then, yeah, it's going to get a little bit tougher as things continue. So that is the bad news on all of this. Now, as is though, everybody is just starting to posture around the middle of the map, posture around the Immortal. Also, there were still a few Shaman camps that were ready, so that they had to try and go for. So that's going to be the next one. Attack is coming in through the choke point. Reptire, disc on Sylvanas. Barbecue is about to start up. Sylvanas trying to get away here. They're also hoping for another kill, and they get it against Maiev. Maiev gets locked down and killed. Nintorius on the run with Tranquility. Urel is at the top, also fleeing. As said before, they don't have any fountains left. They have no forts left, so that's a huge setback in that situation. And now that they are only with 4 on the map, even with Maiev being back any moment now, they are still struggling here to get a foothold. And the blue team has already lost essentially the halftime show. 50% of the hit points on the Immortal are gone. Level 13 is also very soon going to be ready for the Anti-Clown Association. So they're moving from one lead to another. They're getting close to 13. Still not a single kill for their opponents. The blue team heavily struggling, and they might even be losing Porky here. And indeed they do. Porky is down as well, so Diablo gets killed. That is kill number 8. It's ridiculous. The ACA with big plays here. They're coming off a fresh victory against the Storm League Enjoyers, and now they're just trying to continue exactly where they left off in the first series by dominating their opponent and absolutely playing them to the wall. Huge objective with a big shield now. The level 13 talent already giving them an advantage on this, and now they can move towards the bottom of the map in the hopes of taking the keep itself out. On damage, we have 25,000 for Sylvana. She's obviously going to enhance this push even further. 21,000 for Arthas, who is, in this case, the second highest damage dealer on the team, and nearly matches the top damage on the other side. Top damage being Li Ming in this one. So, yep, not bad. I mean, big moves being made by ACA to just completely steamroll their opponents. Which, I mean, they should do. This is exactly the thing that you want to do. If you're having this big of a momentum swing, then you need to start and really take advantage of it. And that's where they're headed with this. So they're starting to make their play now. Once again, we have them going for Maiev, and she gets murdered. Maiev made absolutely no... had no impact in this. Absolutely no impact. There comes the Riptire, nearly taking Nintori out. All that he can do at this point is try, run, and get away from this. The keep at the bottom gets destroyed as already expected, and now they're slowly making their way over towards the core as they should, trying to posture up on this a bit to see if they can also do some serious damage here. We're only 10 minutes into the game, and they're already threatening to end it. If they can get more kills, it might be possible. The core definitely going to take damage now, has already started to do so. The Immortal alone is not going to be able to take it down. Has now been defeated, but it's 89% on the core, and the only question is, can they get kills and then maybe turn it again. Diablo goes down. He had a soul stack, so he'll be back. They're starting to make another move. 10 kills against 0, 15 against 12. What a performance by the Anti-Clown Association. I doubt that they can win the game right here, right now. 13 kicks in, so finally we have 13 talents on both sides, and a couple of the red team heroes are falling low. That's the end of Arthas, and finally a first kill for the blue team. But they're losing Urel again. Urel is gone. Diablo is diving in, trying to help out here. Bunker is on the ground. Maiev, yeah, they go for at least Stukov, and they drop him, so that's the second kill. All these kills give them a fair chunk of experience, of course, so they're starting to catch up on this a bit. But while this is happening, the top side gets pushed, and this keep is going to take damage as well. It's not going to get destroyed, they're going to be able to defend it, but this is still some decent damage on it. And with the catapult not getting murdered immediately, they're losing, what is this, 30%? And this still hurts. 35,000 damage for Sylvanas at this point. We're having 32,000 for Li Ming. Kind of noteworthy that Diablo has died 4 times, and to make matters worse, just look at Maiev. This is what I've been talking about earlier. Maiev has actually been killed 5 times. So she has been absolutely bullied around and was just struggling. Can they turn it? They're gonna try. One keep is already destroyed. They have only 1 keep left. Next objective is up. They're gonna do everything they can in order to turn this game around. But the ACA, they want to show no mercy here. They're coming in for the next kill. Riptire, Maiev trying to get away, and is able to escape, at least this time. But it still forces the team away from the middle, which means, of course, that once again the objective is starting to take serious damage. The blue teams, at least. So, with the help of Kelsia and, in this case, Roger on Sylvanas, they are hoping to take the next Immortal down. It's a bit more even than it was previously, but that level 16 talent, that gives another talent advantage, again, to the ACA, is, of course, another problem that they now have to face off against. So, the entire game was just the Squeal team fighting against advantages on the other side. Disc is out as Diablo was trying to engage. Now the team is being pushed back once again and is losing ground as we speak. Still a camp pushing through the bottom of the map. They could potentially go for the fort at least, but they're just losing too much ground. Li Ming gets killed. That's one of the main damage dealers gone for the team. And of course, on top of that, the next problem is also that the objective seems like it's going to be claimed again by the red team. And once they're pushing through the top, another fort will fall, unless some kills come in. And Kelsia is the first one to fall. Kelsia goes down. So at least they're able to take him out. That is Junkrat gone. They want to go for Arthas and drop him too. Sylvanas is in trouble as well. The bunker is in, but Sylvanas isn't able to enter it. So now a chance to go for more kills, maybe even for the objective itself. He has finally an opportunity with Arthas falling. It is the Squeal team that is starting to go for a comeback. Blaze gets a quick kill against Maiev. Maiev is gone, gets murdered. Nicely done in this case by Blaze. We have now Valamar trying to get back. He's actually escaping. Blaze is still getting stopped. Might be in trouble here. Time will tell. Is he going to be able to get away? And the answer is no. Blaze falls. Blaze gets eliminated. He gets destroyed. He is out for good. 13 kills now to 6. Still a 1-level lead. Maybe not quite. But this would be quite the comeback. I mean, think about this for a second. Squeal team has lost hit points on the core already. But now around level 16 talents, they're finally starting to get a bit of a foothold in the game. Is it too late? Is it too little too late? That's the only question that is really of relevance now. They're winning an objective. It is a small shield, but again, they at least got it. What is this? 15%, 20%? I think a fort is definitely in the cards, but a fort is also not going to be enough. They need more than a fort if they want to have success here. And we'll find out if they can do that. They also have to bridge that gap in experience, because if they don't bridge it soon, then it will mean level 20 on the opponent's side. And that is, of course, then going to be a little bit dangerous to deal with. Now, as it stands, they're doing everything that they can at the bottom of the map and try to murder them. So, here we go. We'll see if they can pull it off, if they have an opportunity here. The fort, as already announced, is definitely going to fall. They're going to get this one. What about kills? First, the bunker is out again. They're getting zoned away from it. And Arthas is dead again. It is insane. They're actually starting to turn this. They go for Blaze again. Here comes Calamity and the kill. So they are able to get 2 more kills. And it is just play after play that is being made here right now. And they are able to go for the bottom keep. Squeal Team 6, ladies and gentlemen. They might just turn the game. They've definitely caught up in experience. So now they're absolutely even. They take the keep out too, which essentially puts them more or less even in structures. Not 100% yet, but they're working on it. And with Roger being in trouble, the team just goes for core. The Immortal is gonna fall here in just a moment, but they can do some damage. They're burning the shield down as we speak. So they're getting to a point where they're seriously threatening to win game number 1. And I don't think that the ACA had that really on their bingo card. 49%, and they're really going for it. A right click is going to solve the problem here. This is going to be it. They're going to make it happen. After all, that's the, well, maybe not. They're all down. No, only one survivor. 3%. 3% on the core. Diablo is back. They gotta cross the map and end it. They all died. That's insane. 3%. No way. 8 to 18. Diablo, he's gonna slow them down. It's all that he can do. He needs to slow them down a little bit. He can die, but he needed to slow them further than that. Incredible. First the comeback attempt and then that. IGN was right after all. No comeback mechanics in Heroes of the Storm. It seems like the team is gonna lose it after all. Absolutely insane. Li Ming is back, but she'll be too late. The Anti-Clown Association takes the lead against Squeal Team 6 in an insane game on Battlefield of Eternity. Nicely done, GG, and well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Well, that didn't go as planned. ACA is able to win the game. Planned from their perspective. From their perspective, it went fantastic, but obviously the Squeal team is going to be too happy. 3% on the opponent's score as they die. As always, the moment when you then watch it back later and you're just thinking, if we would have done this, if we would have done that, if we didn't waste 3 seconds there, 1 second here, we could have ended the game. But, well, hindsight is always 20/20, and at the end of the day, it's a victory for the Anti-Clown Association. Still a very nice effort by the blue team. I mean, honestly, Squeal team coming back that heavily and nearly turning the game around was pretty impressive. So, really well done from them. Not enough to get them a win in this one so far. But again, this series could be another 5-mapper. I have honestly no idea what to expect here. ACA first did incredibly well, had a fantastic start into all of this, and then of course things got a little bit tricky towards the mid and the late game, where the Squeal team was just able to excel a bit further. Now if the Squeal team can pull that off again, then hey, fantastic for them, then we might actually see that 5-mapper. But if the ACA just said like, alright boys, normally we should have decided this a bit earlier in our favor, let's just make sure that we are now buckling up a little bit, put it to 100, and then just play it cool and calm, then they might, you know, be able to run over their blue team opponent here and take the Squeal team down. Who knows? We'll find out. Hanzo again as our first pick. We have the exact same pattern that we have with Hanzo. Now, well, but the same pattern in regards to map choices. We went in the previous series from Battlefield of Eternity to Infernal Shrines. Now we're essentially doing the same, obviously to different teams that are playing here, but we have Hanzo still as part of the game, comes in as the first pick. And yeah. Also, by the way, just as a side note, tournaments that we are running, very likely in the future we will again introduce a couple of the draft rules that we've been running in the past. The feedback that we've gotten so far was overwhelming in favor of at least keeping the rule in play that a hero can only be played once within a series. We wanted to put this tournament up as not only a small tournament on the North American server for the NA players and teams, but also to just like contrast it a little bit with the rules and drafts that we've used in the past 1 or 2 years. So yeah, but the feedback has been pretty overwhelming, at least on the audience side, so we're likely going to incorporate that again. That obviously only applies to tournaments that we are running. There can still be some other tournaments that we are commentating, maybe some Heroes Lounge games in the future, so those obviously don't follow the same rules, but just as a bit of an info point for you. Medivh banned, well, don't really blame them because Medivh had a very strong showing yesterday. But that was with Chaotic, so I believe it was Chaotic that played Medivh. Now we get Arthas banned. It's actually, we are living in a world where Arthas gets banned now, which is kinda awesome. So Arthas not only gets picked every now and then, to be fair, mainly by one team, but he even gets banned because they just don't want to deal with this. With Sylvanas and Blaze now in Infernal Shrines, that's already a very good start for them. Obviously, Porky on Diablo again. I said that I believe it's going to be a bit of a battle of who gets Diablo. God Filth decides in favor of Garrosh, but Dibbles on Infernal Shrines is mega powerful. You have Hogger, who's crazy there too. And now the final 2 picks for the Squeal team. Now they still need their healer. Depends a bit on what exactly they are going to try in regards to damage. You can, I mean, honestly, here you can basically do everything, ranging from Deckard Cain to Stukov again. So yeah, there's plenty. We have 2 supports banned, that's all. Could even go Uther. They go for Anduin and they combo it off with Genji, so we're going to get that light bomb engage into the backline that they're going to try and get here. So yeah, Kelsia, final one to pick. We need some more damage for them. Still a strong comp already. Garrosh throw into Malfurion Root into a jet propulsion stun. Sylvanas damage, but this needed a bit more here on Infernal Shrines if they want to go for the objective. So we'll see. They already have the lead in the best of 5 series, and they're deciding to pick Tychus as we're heading into Infernal Shrines. On the left side, in Game 2, we have Porky on Diablo, Naz on Hogger, Psychotora on Genji, Nintori on Anduin, and Brandon on Hanzo. To the right side, the Anti-Clown Association with Roger on Sylvanas. We get Mason Blaze on Blaze, Valamar on Malfurion, got Filth on Garrosh, and Kelsia is playing Tychus in the second game. So, there was a bit of a scared moment for the red team just at the end of Battlefield of Eternity, but they were able to defend, pull through, and then win the game after all, so the lead is theirs. Can they extend it? Or is Squeal Team 6 now warmed up? Are they awake? And are they gonna start just taking people down? Porky again on the money pick for that extra 5% damage. And the attack all the way in the middle. So far not really happening. So the teams have not gone for that 5 versus 5. But Porky, he pushes out onto a minion. That could have been a problem. He doesn't want a Lauber today. He does not want to pull a Lauber today, as you can tell here. So, yeah, still alive, still kicking, all good for him. Doesn't die at the before the first minute mark. But it got scary for just a moment. He reacted well on the other hand, so yeah. And they're still roaming the map in an attempt to get a couple of kills together. So in this case, they were pushing very quickly for Sylvanas at the top as she started to make her rotation. Both of the teams are very active now, looking for an early game lock and kill here. So far hasn't really happened, but yeah, not too bad. Actually like it. So, in the meantime, Brandon down at the bottom of the map is also getting attacked. Next few attacks can obviously now happen too. We already have at the top them still pushing this a little bit further. Yeah. And nobody. I mean, again, I like that they're being aggressive. There's no real fight, no kill just yet, so everybody is going for caps now, but you can tell that the entire time both of the teams were looking to see if they can catch somebody on a bad rotation. If they're not taking a safe path, but moving straight through the middle with one of the more squishy heroes, they were aiming to take him down, and then after realizing, hey, okay, this doesn't really work just yet, everybody's paying too much attention, and the mercenary camp spawn both have started to fall back to the bottom part of the map to grab those Khaldor camps. And the red team is now locking in the neutral one, so they're getting the extra one here with relative ease, not having a huge problem on this. But of course, with level 4 talents now kicking in and we're slowly getting towards the first objective of the game, this is where things then still will start to explode a little bit more. So we're gonna get a bit more action from everybody involved. Still trying to go for Genji, who needs to be careful and is already starting to jump back out, so not really a big problem yet. Shrine is now activating too, and this is going to be the first objective straight here down at the bottom of the map. So we're having top side, the 1v1 laners still doing their thing. Camps will now of course be taken by the rest of the team as everybody is getting ready for this little push. And then the objective. So set the camp up at the top lane, get a bit of value out of that, and then make your way towards the bottom of the map for the first Punisher of the game. Trying to claim this one. Not a single kill so far. Nobody has taken a big lead in experience either. We're still waiting for level 7 talents to kick in for the two of them. But they are aiming to keep people away from the Shrine. And interestingly enough, Hogger is going top side now up against Sylvanas. So they actually swapped Blaze towards the bottom. And Sylvanas would make this push so much more dangerous, which is the main reason why she's there in the first place. So the reaction is there. 3 heroes are committing to try and take her down. But that's a lot of time wasted and resources spent at the top that they won't be able to use in the fight down here. So that's a bit of a problem potentially. They gotta be careful on this. Yeah, Brandon is now starting to move away from this one as well. But the attack here, they are slowly kicking in. They are starting to take some of those camps out. Genji... What? Genji dies diving on Sylvanas. Sylvanas is gonna fall, but she's still gonna waste an enormous amount of their time. And now we have Nas also falling. What? Yeah. Team, hello? So, Porky and his boys are taking a few too many risks, if you ask me. That is a Punisher at the bottom of the map that now has to be dealt with. If Sylvanas is back in time to help out with at least some of that push, that would be a problem. And the situation is already annoying enough as is for them. I mean, they don't have a lot of resources at the bot lane either, so I guess only the wall will fall. But that's now 2 kills to 1. They dropped the wall at the top. It's a little bit better than I expected. Honestly, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, it's not that shitty. They did damage at the top lane wall. Objective at the bottom did nothing. Very little. Damaged the fort a little bit. So while it looked a bit odd for Genji to dive in, not kill Sylvanas, and then as Hogger and Diablo engaged, them losing Hogger in the process too, looked a bit strange. But essentially they haven't lost too much. Even with them giving up the objective and not even making a play for it, they are not too far behind. So this looked a lot worse than it actually was. When it happened, I really thought, damn, they're going to get massively behind. But that's not really the case here. They're a little bit behind by half a level, but that is still manageable. Now you could argue that this is against the team that runs, in this case, Tychus, who has gone into Relentless Soldier, by the way. So he's a bit worried about his survivability, especially with the light bomb engaged from Genji, and is trying to use that as a counter to it. 10 kicks in, that gives us also Taunt with the Warlord's Challenge for Garrosh. But yeah, with them now running Odin, that next objective is of course going to be a little bit easier for them, one would assume, because Odin is always a powerful transformation tool when we're talking about the big fights on the shrines. Now, 6 minutes in, we have level 10 finally getting ready for the blue team as well. And I want to stress again that they are behind in the series already. Meme strike for Hanzo. Brandon is trying to channel his inner Madara here. Goes for the meme strike. And I'm not sure, yeah, well, that's the problem with meme strike. You can use it as a zoning tool, but there are very few Hanzo players where I've seen meme strike get big value before they get the cooldown reduction on level 20. I always cite Madara as an example because he has such an impeccable timing and use of the talent where he gets good value out of it. But Hanzo now gets just killed immediately. So Hanzo gets killed, he gets murdered. Didn't really have an impact here. That's the third kill for the red team. Hogger finds himself on the wrong side, by the way, proxying that wave here. And is then still able to get out, I suppose. But the next objective should be announced soonish as well. So, yeah, we're gonna fight on that. And again, Porky, bit low, completes his baseline quest though, so he has the heavy hit point pool now. But the objective gets announced at this point, and this is where things will once more become interesting. We have the camps still about to be taken. When we're talking about the damage output, 10,000, 11,000 for Genji, top damage for the blue team, 11,000, 12,000 for Sylvanas. Fairly even. We haven't seen too many big and drawn out fights, even if the first objective was essentially given up. What we've seen more so than anything else is just trying to gang up on an individual target and take it down quickly. But this is now going to change with this objective, and also this is a big Punisher. With a frozen Punisher you can always do tons and tons of work and damage, and that's what both teams are aiming for now. So already the fight being forced past the shrine a little bit. Light Bomb trying for Malfurion, and the combo, I mean, it's an interesting combo. Meme strike with a light bomb engaged, that seems to be the goal here. That's a lot of ults, by the way, that they're using at the same time. It didn't quite work out in that particular instance, but if they can line it up properly, then maybe they have a chance to get full use of it. But in this case, they used 3 cooldowns and got very little. They are heavily ahead on the objective, on the other hand. 33 minion stacks already as is. The red team is taking full control of the shrine, but it might already be too late. With only 4 missing for the blue team, I think they're going to get this Punisher. The question is more so, can the team at least get a kill? And they're now aiming for it here against Porky, and Diablo goes down, but of course he had his stacks. Brandon now is going to get the Punisher for the team. Another hero is not going to get destroyed from the looks of it, and as I said, Dibbles will be back. He was fully stacked. So even with level 13, oh, proccing that jump in front of the gate, that's kind of amateur hour. Now, it wasn't really intentional. He was trying to get back, but didn't get back in time. But that's a mistake that Kelsia is not going to be happy about at all. Here comes Light Bomb, and can they get a kill? They can't. Well, maybe now against Garrosh. Yeah, Sylvanas is able to get away. Garrosh, on the other hand, moves towards the top. Mason Blaze is still helping out there. Big damage again. Psychotora, and with the jet propulsion, they are getting a kill. And now Porky's in trouble. Got filth with some filthy survival plays, and Diablo dies. Once again, they dove too deep, and they're losing too many heroes in the process. The Punisher in the middle has been defeated already. Now they're moving in from the side. Hogger is about to get attacked. Hanzo is in trouble. Gets the grenade to the face and falls after Sylvanas hits him with a Wailing Arrow. Boy, oh boy, that's 7 kills to 1 now. If you are already behind in the series, this is not what you want to happen. Not even a little bit. So big problems for them. Got Filth at the bottom of the map, still busy here. More than a level lead, and they popped Odin in the mid lane to try and take down that fort, or at least damage it. Sylvanas, of course, enhancing that push further. Wow. You win the objective, and then you're the one losing not only several heroes, but also your fort. Bad news. Very, very bad news indeed. So, tough times for them. Yeah, it's a rough one. 7 kills to 1, 16, of course, getting a little bit closer now for the red team as well. So they're getting just further and further ahead in this game. And yeah, it's just a little bit nasty. I mean, here's the level 16 talent. It's a 1.5 level advantage now. So the Anaclown Association is in, again, a great spot. Nothing too fantastic. I mean, again, they have momentum, they have a lead in experience, they have a talent advantage, they took a fort out, but it's not like they're just completely running over them yet. But they're definitely showing that they have the potential to do that as the game continues. So, yeah, we'll see how far they can go here. Sakatora still nibbling at the top a little bit and trying to annoy Blaze, at least. Down here, they're stealing the camp away with the help of Sylvanas. So, making a few more plays on this one, too. But, yeah, 16 and a half on the level count now. Okay, so, yeah, it's time for the Squeal team to channel the late game prowess that they showed on Battlefield of Eternity, because they're definitely going to need it. Once that 16 is in, at the latest with 20, they need to make a few moves. 20, of course, is also giving Hanzo the chance to reduce the cooldown on his ult continuously, which I talked about a bit earlier. That's where he can get real value out of that. Unleashing a couple of meme strike on every single objective is very quickly changing things and changing the dynamic of big shrine fights. But now for this one, we're going to have level 16 on both teams. So that's going to be helpful for sure. Once that you have level 16 for both, that fight will decide a lot. Anduin with a huge power spike now too, has the double pull available. So that's always pretty neat and something that he's going to use now as well. But this is really where the blue team has to make a difference. They gotta do it right now. If not, if they're falling farther behind here, then catching up is going to be nearly impossible. So, let's see how they're going to play this. Meme Strike, again, not doing anything. Zoning them a little bit. Hanzo gets killed in the back. Sylvana still gets killed. She was forced towards the top, and the rest of the team followed up. So, it's a damage dealer on each side that gets eliminated, which leaves only Genji now for the blue team. They went full Hanzo Genji, just putting the meme of the tournament name into their team composition. But now that they're falling back here and giving up the lead also on the Shrine Minion progress, they're losing Horga, and yeah, that puts the final nail into the coffin on this objective. So they are in real danger here of losing another game. Because the lead is now being extended. Mortar Punisher, to be fair, in the middle. So let's see how far they can go with it. At the top, the fort's still taking a bit of damage, I guess. And they're now moving... Oh, sorry, my bad. We are Shrine at the bottom of the map. I read the minimap wrong for just a moment here. I thought it was in the mid lane. But yep, they're going to get that fort for sure. And if they get Sylvanas back, maybe they can do a bit more. Blaze is still staying at the top and is trying to damage the fort further, which he is able to pull off. But down here, Sylvanas not even bothering. She's moving towards the top. They have better chance of taking the top fort out than seriously damaging the bottom keep. I totally agree with that. Making a move for Genji. If she had a Wailing Arrow, she could have tried to use that. But that's some serious damage on that fort. Horda Pull is being used. Jet Propulsion is missing. And Genji needs to be very cautious. If he... I mean, again, they need way more to take those heroes out. And here comes the fight. Hanzo is missing. It's a 5 versus 4 in favor of the red team. Porky at the front. That they already had to use Tranquility in order to get out. So they were hoping to get another fort. Couldn't quite pull it off. 1.5 level lead puts them into a spot where they will have level 20 talents in half a level. So that's pretty decent still. And now on top of that, of course, camps still get claimed. Put them a little bit further ahead here. Anduin, the only one on the blue team that hasn't been killed yet. Which doesn't really come as a surprise. I mean, he has a lot of practice in running away from fights and just trying to escape, just trying to move out. And is really good at dodging an upfront battle. So it doesn't really surprise that he's the one that hasn't died yet. But Phil's surviving here. Brandon got some value out of this one though. So he got some serious damage out of it. Not enough to get a kill though. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem. So with this said and done, at the bottom of the map they're still pushing again. Level 20 is ready. And this is the big advantage. Big red button gets used immediately. I mean, he doesn't even hesitate. Just uses it right away. Is likely going to have it back up for the next shrine fight too. But they're already trying to go for that bottom keep and try and take that one out as well. At this point, we have them in the driver's seat completely. They have not only big red button, but also Sylvanas that can help to go for that keep immediately. If they can get another kill here, I'm sure they would love to go for the core too. But I would assume that's going to be pushing it a little bit far. But here comes the fight, so they're actually engaging into it. They're engaging into the battle. Here comes the play for Brandon. They want the two, they want the brothers, and they are barely missing out on the kills, but they are able to get Genji. Genji is gone. 11-2 on the kill count now. The fort in the middle, they might even be able to save that. Next objective is at the top lane, but that's catapults already on the core, so things are looking better and better for the Anti-Clown Association. Every single fight, it seems like they are just pulling a bit farther ahead. Take another objective, take another mercenary camp. Slowly getting that damage worked in, which leads us to 40,000 for Sylvanas, 39,000 for Tychus. Hanzo, on the other hand, together with Genji, 35 and 40,000 damage respectively. So it's not like they're not able to put the numbers up there. It's just that they are not able to get the kills. The numbers are there, the kills aren't. Now the camp is stolen away and the topside fort gets dropped, which means that only one team has a fountain nearby when we're fighting over the next shrine. But they don't have a chance. The blue team has to fight for this one. It's finally 20 versus 20 talents, and this is also where a lot of the power spikes are kicking in. Anduin is coming through with enough fire, but more importantly, of course, the Dragon Awakens for Hanzo. So here comes an opportunity to maybe bring it back. Comebacks are always possible in Heroes of the Storm, once that you're able to go and get yourself the same talents as your opponent. Already trying to sniff out the opponent's positioning with the Hanzo's ult because he can reduce the cooldown quickly. That's actually kind of interesting. He's like, yeah, well, I'm going to use my ult for that. Still doesn't have it for a few more seconds. And they are taking control of the shrine again. So Odin is right there. Kelsia is pushing them back with the big red button as best as he can. And in the meantime, Blaze is controlling this. But here comes the flip. And the kill. Oh no, he's alive! Garrosh is alive and Hanzo is dead. How is Godfilth always able to survive through these? This is the second or third time now that I would have bet money on him falling in another second. And he somehow makes it, stays alive, and then turns the fight around. They are getting a double kill, and this is just too damn good. They're not even bothering with the entire team pushing for the objective anymore. They're leaving Blaze on the shrine, and then they push for the top. And by the way, guys, there's catapults on the core at the bottom of the map now. So these catapults have to be dealt with too. And Genji and Diablo are moving in to do exactly that as the red team is breaking through the wall at the top, or trying to. So this is just... Uh-oh, Diablo, they want the kill, but he's also exposed now. They have only 3 heroes yet. It's a 3 versus 4 since Blaze is still on the shrine, but he got the Arcane Punisher for the team. Porky low. They are still trying to catch him. He is getting dropped low very quickly, and they haven't given up on getting a kill. But with the wall destroyed and the Punisher now moving in, the goal of the Anti-Clown Association is obviously to get the to get the game. And they're just insta-giving Genji. Genji gets killed, and this should honestly be all there's to it. They're going for the keep. This falls 100%. Diablo gets caught. He has his soul stacks. He'll be back, but he dies. Now he's a weak kitten, essentially. And yes, this is just it. It's gonna be game. A 2-0 lead for the Anti-Clown Association. Fantastic play again. Roger is moving back out. The shield is already removed. Diablo dies again. Hogga is gone. That leaves only Hanzo and Anduin, and Hanzo is about to fall too. The jet propulsion connects beautifully from the side. But this is a 2-0 lead in the best of 5 series now for the Anti-Clown Association as they lock in the victory on Infernal Shrines. GG. Match point number 1. We are headed for Dragonshire as the Anti-Clown Association has a 2-0 lead in the best of 5. And they are threatening to kick the Squeal team out of the tournament. well, out of the tournament, Squeal team would take 3rd place, and of course, in case that the ACA is able to win another map, they would then move on to fight against 30k in the grand final. Now, Sylvanas gets banned out. The Roger respect ban over here. But yeah, Squeal team needs to be worried for good reason. There's a lot of people that really expected a big rematch between Squeal Team 6 and 30k in the grand final, and apparently the ACA has different plans. With Maiev now banned, they are hoping to just absolutely crush through them, move on to the next round, and then, yeah, hopefully, of course, and they might go and take down 30k as well, who are probably watching this right now with interest and checking out some of the comps that are being played here and talking about how exactly they would face off against either one of these teams. Hogger gets picked as the first choice from the Squeal team for Dragonshire, so we already have our top lane hero. And we were talking about the Anti-Clown Association. Could still go for Blaze at the top lane. Urel obviously always a very good choice on Dragonshire as well, since she can traverse terrain easily and therefore hold control between lane experience and train control a bit better. There she is. Mason Blaze picks her up, and we get Junkrat for Kelsier. A lot of Junkrat plays actually today, and a lot of those even on maps where I would not necessarily have expected him as an early pick. Battlefield comes to mind in that context very quickly. When you're coming from a more European perspective on this, that's not a hero that you see played a lot on Battlefield. At least not with the high pick priority that he has for some teams on Dragonshire here on the North American server. Lunara and Jojo. So yeah, Lunara is another one. For me, one of the questions is, are we getting maybe even Zagara? We've seen now some of the NA teams adopt what we have seen, specifically Dino play a lot, that Dragonshire Zagara, and it's something that could be played in the series too. So Bambi plus Jojo on the side of the Squeal team. This time no Diablo play for Porky. Anduin gets banned out. Don't want to deal with that. and Malfurion on the other side. Now with Anduin banned, one of the heroes that you could obviously go for is also Varian. Anduin is very, very nice against Varian, simply because you can, and after every taunt, pull the target out. But Godfilth finally has an opportunity to get Diablo. It was denied to him 2 games in a row, so he doesn't hesitate for a moment. And I was like, alright, finally, let's go, Lord of Terror. Yeah. Valamar then with Stukov. Yeah, and I want to see if Godfilth can now be successful with Diablo. For him, this is a great pick. This is exactly what he showcased over and over again in previous matches. But the Squeal team, they need to win this one. If they don't win here, they're 3rd place in the tournament, which is still pretty respectable and great. But of course, they were aiming a lot higher. So Falstad gets picked plus Rega. And that leaves us with Roger as the final choice in this particular match. Dragonshire, ladies and gentlemen. First match point out of potentially 3 for the Anti-Clown Association. It's a 2-0 lead for the red team, so we need a reverse sweep from the Squeal team if they want to have the rematch against 30k in the grand final. If they can pull it off or not, I guess the first step is going to be what's happening now on Dragonshire with our last pick being Cassia. It is match point on the left side. Naz with Hogger. We have the Squeal team with Porky on Johanna. And, well, let's see what exactly they can do with Intorion, Rega, Saikatora on Lunara, and Brandon on Force. They got some globals. Had a good comp here. Lunara, a couple of the picks that they have and a couple of the combos from a European perspective might be a bit out there, but right now I want to see what especially Lunara can do in this context. Over on the right side, the Anti-Clown Association with Godfilth on Dibbles, so he has his big pick now. We got Kelsier on Junkrat, Roger on Cassia, Mason Blaze on Urel, and Valamar is playing Stukov. Cassia going into stacking here on level 1, so straight in with the Thunderstroke in this game. And yep, blue team has to step it up. Can they pull that off here? It would be quite amazing if they're actually now going for a straight up reverse sweep and bring down the ACA to face off against 30k in the best of 7 grand final. That would be pretty impressive if they can pull that off. But it's going to be tough. I mean, reverse sweeps are never easy. It's always a huge challenge to make that work. And I'm not so sure if they are currently in the mindset where they can pull it off. Depends a little bit on how the game over here is going to flow. But this is not a good start. Porky pulling a Lauber again. The NA Lauber dying here right away before the 1 minute mark on the main tank. So Jojo is gone. And oof, even Hogger at the top has taken a lot of damage. So yeah, another problem for them. Alright, so things are getting a little bit tricky over here, if you ask me. You gotta be careful on that. But yeah, we'll see if they can do, or how much they can do now. With that little lead, with that little kill, I mean, again, one kill is obviously not enough to really flip the game around or anything. But they are going to now try and build up with that momentum. And one of the dangers is always that if you're already in an 0-2 and then the series or the potentially final map doesn't really go your way and you start to lose ground there, that you then at some point just resign yourself and you just be like, alright, this is not happening. We can't even win this one and we won't be able to take all of it out. A bit too early to tell. Right now, definitely way too early. Blue team is aiming for a Dragonite, which they are not able to get here in the middle. Nas is currently threatening it, but Cassia is taking over at the bottom of the map against Lunara. Has 3 stacks only so far, by the way. Oof. Roger is not getting a lot here. But now, Ogre eating quite a few shots, but Porgy is now helping out, so the two of them will definitely be able to deny the Dragonite, and maybe with the help of Rhaegar, they're even able to get a kill. Yeah, but now there's 2 in the middle. So I actually like that they're just going aggressively from shrine to shrine, trying to grab that. But yes, specifically Cassia needs a few opportunities to stack, and I guess she has one here, but it's also sweet death for her. So he's down. That's the end of Cassia. Cassia is gone. Top side, that's where we now have a Hogger trying for shrine again. And I gotta say, blue team is currently able to do a bit better here. Especially with Cassia not stacking out of her mind or anything. Cassia's stacking is actually absolutely abysmal, if you're honest, for a moment. There weren't a lot of fights where she could have done anything, but we are now nearing the 4 minute mark and she's sitting at 6 stacks. That's nothing. Definitely not as much as they wanted here, so we'll see. Down at the bottom of the map now, we get Lunara hopping around. Sakatora together with Rhaegar has now started to take a camp, and Kelsia is doing his best to displace the all of the mercenaries to make it easier to defend here. But it's still going to mean some structural damage. And now we have the Squeal team with not only a kill, but with also a little bit more momentum here. Shot is already getting fired. The wall is gone. Top side, Hogger against Urel. That battle is still going to play out for a long time. But I'm more interested in how much specifically Diablo can contribute. I kind of highlighted it in the draft already. But God Filth has really been playing some impressive games with Diablo. So this is the first time in this series that he's able to play him. And I just want to see if he can follow up on that. Double control on the shrines at least, so there's pressure in the middle that an objective might be taken, stolen, grabbed by the red team. So they have to linger around here. Urel is already retaking at the top. And they are really threatening this right now. So there's a lot of interrupt potential that is coming through here. Specifically, of course, Porky can always do that, so can false that. But they're trying to get another one. And as long as they have to interrupt, it's always a problem for Jojo because she has to move in over and over again. That's why Rhaegar coming in and helping out a little bit is actually quite nice. The problem is that they're now losing Falstad. And that might not only be a chance to get the objective, but maybe they're even able to pick up another kill here. Urel at the top is playing against Hogger. Here comes the channel, and this time they grab it. Dragonite number 1, 5 minutes into the game. It's taken by the Anti-Clown Association. They're able to pick up the kill against Falstad, and then they get the DK, and they immediately start working the wall here. Nice play. Another Dragon's Breath should be available in a moment just to burn down that wave a bit. Nice pun. This is one of the best abilities, by the way, of a Dragonite. I absolutely love it. Just come around, kick ass, and just push people out of the fight, kick them on another lane. The best thing that you can actually pull off is a kill that results because you kicked somebody into tower range. If that happens, it's always amazing. So they are able to take 2 walls out with the Dragon Knight. One was already damaged. Didn't do tons, but yeah. We also have, by the way, Sacred Ground. So Sacred Ground is something that we've seen Urel play on this map already once or twice. You can hold, of course, position very nicely with it. And if you're trying to hold on to a shrine, that becomes very useful. You can also try and utilize it while you're pushing for a fort. The teams are still incredibly close in experience, and just taking these walls out is not going to give them the big lead that they obviously won or anything. So, in the meantime, we're having the camps again focused on. Both teams are going to go for those right away. And yeah, we'll see how much you can do with that push. Potentially, if you're now moving through the top, you can very quickly try and take the opponent's camp out and maybe push some of those structures out. Once those forts are gone, the fountains are gone, it gets easier for you to win the objective if your opponent doesn't have access to any sustainability there. Kelsia still has to be careful in the middle. Oh, and I'm not quite sure what exactly went on with him here, but Naz definitely spasming a little bit on the pause button. So in the meantime, Johanna apparently disconnected. That's not really good news. It's one thing when it happens to the Europeans that are playing cross-server and have problems with ping in the first place, but if it just simply happens to one of the players over on the blue team, then it could very quickly spiral into a problem. So either way, we have a disconnect. We'll see what happens. The Squeal team currently, they've lost their leader. They've lost Porky, and I certainly hope that he's going to be back in a moment, because yeah, that would be a difficult one to lose. Hopefully it's just disconnect and not a problem with either his connection or electricity or whatnot. But yeah, the game's paused, and we're going to wait for Porky to make his way back into Dragonshire. And Porky is thankfully back, so apparently he completely dropped. I'm not quite sure what exactly happened, if he had a PC problem, if just internet disconnected quickly, but he was also streaming at the time, and apparently the stream dropped as well. But whatever it was, they solved it in a pretty reasonable time frame, so real nice. And now we're back to business, as at the top, Rel is currently trying to defend. I mean, it's again, this is still one-on-one. Everybody had a camp. Both teams took their bruiser camp here. But now the rotation is coming in to try and go for Urel. And Mason Blaze could actually fall here. And very likely is trying to get his ult out. But that's just simply too much. 4 heroes collapsing onto you. If you have Sacred Ground as your ult, you're not going to make it. That's not happening. If you had the cooldown or could have bought enough time for the cooldown to get in, maybe you have a chance there, but that wasn't really the case. So now instead they're trying to burn Rhaegar down. Diablo all the way up at the front. But that's 2 kills to 2, and even a lead in experience for the team in blue now. They for a moment I thought he died. If Diablo gets a hold of him there, I think he gets murdered. Yeah, if Diablo gets a hold of him in that situation, I think there's a very solid chance that he is actually going to get crushed. So now at the bottom of the map, Kelsia is getting attacked too by Falstad. Having the global, of course, is also going to make this all a little bit easier as the game continues for them. But I like it. It's a nice back and forth. Stacks for Cassia, a little bit better. Still way below what you want to have at this point in the game. Always, I mean, again, I'm always saying like the rule of thumb, roughly, is that at the 8-minute mark, you want to have roughly 40 stacks if you can. That's the rule of thumb. And so he's way behind that. But it's a bit better than it was there in the early game. So once that we have more team fights breaking out, Roger should also be able to do maybe a little bit more work on all of this. The attacks, they currently keep coming here as they're making move after move. And I'm really curious if there's a second Dragon Knight maybe in the cards for the Anti-Clown Association. They're certainly trying to be aggressive again over here in the middle, and keep the ult in mind with Sacred Ground also for Mason Blaze. Could definitely use that now, and does exactly that. Uses his ult here to try and hold position against 2, also allowing Stukov to move topside and potentially help him out if it was needed. But the team is trying for another Dragon Knight. There's one interrupt by Porky, who gets immediately attacked again. Falster was flying down. They're chasing off Junkrat, so they ensure that with the help of Lunara plus Falster, they are able to get the bottom shrine at least, and even the top one now. So now there's a double control for the blue team, as they are hoping to get a Dragon Knight for themselves. Now we're not quite there yet, with Urel also hopping back out onto the shrine topside. It's not happening anytime soon either. Down here, nice, good gust. Yep, that was nicely done. That gust was really important. If he doesn't gust in that situation, he likely dies. But again, still all good. I love how the blue team is now... They're trying everything. I mean, they really want to win this one. They want to start that reverse sweep that I've been talking about earlier. And they're just putting out all the stops right now. They're just going deep on this. They're looking for kills. They're looking for objectives. They're making one move after another, always in the attempt to pull this off here. It hasn't really happened so far, but look at that lead that they're now claiming for themselves in experience. It's quite nice. It allows them an early level 16 talent, and this could just be the beginning of them taking charge of this third map. Now, there is still control for the red team on the shrines, but I don't think they can... Oh, the barbecue! And Brandon goes down. Blessed shield thrown out and missing by Jojo. Now she's in trouble. Kelsia is also a bit low, but they're trying again for the Dragonite. Lunara wants kills. Lunara is moving forward, but she also has to be very careful because they're in danger of losing more heroes now. The channel is happening again. Shockwave, and there's the kill. They tried too much, but Lunara Bambi is taken out too. So that's a trade in kills. Still the control. Diablo wants it. Slap, big slap, and a Dragonite. Nice. 16 versus 16. And exactly the play that was needed to grant them another objective. Stukov making it possible, and now this is going to cost them a fort in the middle. At the bottom of the map, Hogga has been trying to push a bit here. Hasn't really been successful, but again, Roger coming in and pushing him back was essentially the deciding move on how far this push would go. Now the Dragonite in the middle was successful, took the fort out. Not much more than that. But they are, at least in structures, now starting to take the lead. They have also taken the lead in kills. So, I love it. It's a nice back and forth game between the two teams. So they're doing everything that they can. Squeal Team 6, of course. They came in with real high hopes. They want that rematch against 30k. They want that rematch against 30k in the grand final. And they're really, really trying now. Top side, Mason Blaze is now moving to, well, first of all, of course, should have maybe left that also alone for a bit longer. If he gets this in range of the 4, that would be even better. Talking about in range of Stukov, and Stukov goes down. Those are the kills. This is the kind of plays that we need from the blue team to go for map number 4. And they might get Diablo too. So they're starting to come in for him. He pushes out and is able, wow, is actually able to escape. Damn. God Phil. I've been highlighting his Diablo plays now a few times already, but these are some spectacular moves that he's making on this. So good on him. I wouldn't have bet a cent on him surviving there, but he's able to pull that off. So now making another play here in the middle. Yeah, gets the push back out. Lunara, and she comes in with the kill. But gets counter-killed then a second later, and Falstad falls as well. And this is a 5 versus 4, by the way. Urel the entire... No, Falstad gets killed topside, my bad. So Mason Blaze is able to get the kill at the top together with the push that he executes here. And in the meantime, they're getting a kill at the bottom of the map too. So that's a double kill for the team. And things are looking better and better again for ACA. They grab the fort at the top. That's the second fort destroyed. And I've been talking since the beginning of the game how important these forts are on the side lanes. Because every time you are fighting for one of the shrines, you want to have these forts in range so that you can use the fountain. You can use them as a retreat point. And this is something that has not been taken away from the Squeal team, at least at the top lane. And with them pushing in with a Siege Giant camp, with the numbers advantage at the bottom of the map, they're clearly trying to also eliminate this one. So this is... momentum. So much now for the red team. One problem. Level 20, yes, it's gonna hit soon for them. They, by the way, haven't fully destroyed the bottom fort. They damaged it, but they weren't able to take the entire thing down. But more importantly, the one point is that in experience, there is no big advantage for the team. Lunara, on the other hand, gets killed very quickly. That small window on Storm Talons was immediately used, and now they can go for another Dragonite. All they gotta do is like tap the fountain, go for the bottom shrine, and then get that DK. So they're going to grab it. And oof, that is gonna be another objective and maybe the first keep of the game. That's obviously what they want. They want the first keep here. I mean, first it's gonna be the fort at the bottom of the map. It's gonna be given. And then they're gonna try and open the keep wall up. Lunara down for another 30 seconds. And if they're now killing Falstad, yeah, that lurking up was maybe not in the perfect spot. But still a bit of a threatening moment here against him. So, push at the bottom of the map. This is going to be pretty crucial. By now we have 64 stacks for Cassia, by the way, so the damage output is looking better and better for her. She's at 49,000 damage now. They're opening the wall up as you would expect. Lunara is back in 4 seconds roughly, so she can help with the defense. Dragonite, Dragon's Breath, the main tool that gets used right now. So they're nibbling on the hit points on their main structure, and they have also still the grenades that are coming in from Junkrat here. But with Lunara back, the defense got a lot easier. And Falstad is actually sitting at the side, thinking about going for an angle and a gust, I suppose. With both teams having access to level 20 talents, that means that he is now ready for a good wind tunnel. So they want this. Falstad, they know where he is. They saw him just a second ago, and they already have somebody eyeing him. Got Filth. Yeah, I was just waiting for him to charge in. Didn't have the vision there, but Falstad could still make a play, could still make a move. Shows in the middle on the other hand, and now down here, they're going for Jojo, and might actually grab her now. They go for Johanna, and there's the Ancestral. Ancestral is out, Falstad with the wind tunnel. That hasn't done too much for him. The fight's still going strong here as the Shockwave connects with 3. Nice. Couldn't follow up on it, but a very, very cool connect here to see him stun out 3 heroes with the ult. But again, not able to get any damage in that would have allowed them to get a kill. Look at the stacks on the other hand that we now have for Cassia. Cassia has actually capitalized massively on that fight. Earlier, stacking was really bad for her, but now we have her at 83 stacks, so we're actually getting to a decent point. All stats, yeah, well, careful. Rhaegar's a bit low, and URL is jumping out. So they were not to try and steal the camp away. Couldn't quite make that work, but this is the problem. They still have fountains everywhere. This is exactly the issue. With them still running fountains all over the map, in the middle of the map, they can always just go back to that, get some mana, get some hit points, and then re-engage. That gives them an advantage over and over again. Siege Giants are already in. Hogger is pogging, and yeah, gets away. But also nice damage against from Cassia. 86,000 stacks, but look at the damage output. She's really spiking there. Getting her ball of lightning out in tight team fights like this one is of course helping a lot. Diablo, 48,000 damage, same damage as Urel. They go for the battle again, and bam! Bambi is down. Lunara is gone. They took her out. Huge lurking arm, by the way, from Stukov this time. Really big one. Set up early and then doing tons of damage, and again the timing is perfect, just as the next Dragonite is up for grabs. So they have another Dragonite up on the map. They're coming in immediately to try and claim it, and it is Urel. They are hoping to take at the bottom the shrine back, but it's obviously too late. Not happening in time, and now it's a 4 versus 4 that they're trying to push here. Hoping to also bait out a couple of the ults, I suppose. Lunara is gone for another 20 seconds. Plenty of time to now move over towards the keep and work it slowly down. Don't know if they can go for core. We're now 18 minutes into the game. The dream would, of course, be to go for and end the game in the series and go to the grand final. But you also don't want to risk too much. I am sure they are still remembering what happened in game number 1 and want to avoid a replay of that. Unless it's an exact replay. That's the 5 versus 5, and yes, the keep is gone, and they're hesitating, as you would expect. They're not quite sure how to play this right now. They want to end the game. They're actually pushing some damage onto the keep in the middle, but they also don't want to overextend and then all of a sudden get punished here. So yeah, that's always the big danger, of course, that you don't want to experience. But okay, we're looking at the mid lane. Still, nice attack. Falstad looking for that angle, looking for it, finds it, and Roger in trouble. Gets instantly attacked. Lunara wants the kill, but the heals are there, and so far they're all surviving. Instead, they're turning it on the birdie. Low though, Roger, he needs a heal, and he needs it quickly, and he gets it at 9 hit points. He had 9 hit points. No way! Single-digit hit points on Cassia as she survives through the fight. They opened the wall in the middle up a bit. 8 kills, 2-5. 106 stacks now for Cassia. But damn, that was close. That was insanely close. That kill would have been huge. And it came at the last moment, really. Oh my god. Now, damage. Cassia with 91,000 damage. 61,000 for Urel. The damage numbers here are actually funny. Urel and also Diablo have essentially more or the same damage that Junkrat has. Which is crazy. Yeah, and then on top of that, of course, you have Lunaro at 61,000. Bot lane, the pressure is still there. I gotta point out again that the Squeal team hasn't taken a single fort out yet. But this is still not over. One good team fight is all that you need at the end of the day. One great team fight and you can change things here. So they go again for the Siege Giants. Trying to claim those and steal them away. And yep, looking good here. Making the move, but Cassia is the one to fall. Everybody's low on the blue team as the Ancestral hits, but thanks to the AoE heal, they're alive, and this is maybe the moment. This might be the moment. Shrines activating in 13 seconds. Bot lane has to be defended. This is where it becomes real nice that you're running a global. So they are able to take all of that out with Falstad, or the core would have been in serious danger. We are at this point 21, 22 minutes into the game, so if you're not able to deal with that, you're in real trouble. They're still fighting here. They're losing more heroes. They're not waiting for Cassie to come back. Oh, the Hellgate saved him. Oh, and Brandon is a bit low. I'm just not sure if they can deny the Dragonite to them. Well, they might be, because Lunara is now moving down to the bottom of the map, and they're going for Hogger at the top. They might get the kill. The rotation is coming, but they're so deep. They have to avoid losing another hero. That's the problem. They have to avoid losing another hero. And now Lunara is going straight in for Urel at the top. They're losing Stukov. Honestly, I don't really understand why they did what they did here. Diablo dies too, the core is taking some damage, but was it really worth it sacrificing heroes just to deny the Dragonite, which is now going to be taken anyways? Couldn't you have defended against the Dragonite, given the fact that you still have all of your forts standing that could have slowed down the opponent? 85% on the core, more catapults pushing towards the bottom. Jojo is already channeling, and there's the Dragonite. So you weren't able to avoid that. But the defense, I mean, again, they should still be able to defend okay-ish here, I guess. I mean, obviously, always difficult to make those choices in the heat of the moment there, and we'll see how they're now dealing with it, but they have to just simply retreat with the heroes. Just sacrifice the fort. Wait for Stukov to come back. Urel is coming in from behind. Don't give them an opening. For the Squeal team, this is great. Squeal team, they think they have a chance now. 85% on their core. They've already taken damage here. But with all the poke that is coming from Junkrat, for example, it's not even guaranteed that they can take down the keep itself. So everybody is wasting some of their time, is getting some pokes in, is allowing for abilities to just recharge and come back. Oh, what a game. Game 3. Game 3. Match point. Match point for the Anti-Clown Association. The Dragonite at the 24-minute mark takes 1 fort. Maybe 2. Maybe they get 2 forts with it. It's 1 fort. They got 1 fort with the Dragonite 24 minutes in. Brandon with a gust potentially from the side. They need to sniff all of that out. But the Squeal team just not with enough damage. No keep has fallen. A single fort has been destroyed. That's all that they got here. Urel on level 20 with Seraphim. Again, we got the ball of infinite lightning now. And 117 stacks for Cassia. So they're still working this. Catapults will become more and more of a problem as that game continues. We're basically 25 minutes in. You get catapults on your core, you're in trouble. You get catapults on the keep, and this is likely to fall. So here comes the attack again. Cassia, more and more damage. They go again for Porky. Gets healed by Rhaegar, but that's a big ult that was just used. Wind Tunnel, Blessed Shield misses, Diablo doesn't. It's the end of Johanna. It might be the end of the game. It might be the end of the series. With Jojo gone, now they're making their move. They're moving through the bot lane. They're trying for the core right now. Cooldowns are mostly used. Shockwave is still available, but ACA has to also ensure that they're not inting here. Shockwave only connects with one hero. Rest is still being pushed out. Nas is in the corner. Nas is in trouble. Nas is dead. Hoga gets destroyed. That's only 3 defenders left on the map, and this could be the end of it. Squeal Team 6 needs to pull off an incredible defense if they want to have a chance here. The core is slowly falling, but so is Urel. They kill Rhaegar though. That leaves only the damage dealers. But the game isn't over. The game is still not over. Catapult is not attacking the core. Instead, just attacking Lunara. Here comes the Wind Tunnel and Junkrat has fallen. Junkrat is dead. Only 3 heroes are left and they gotta retreat. 69% on the core. So damn well. Oh no! Why? Why? Oh my god. No way. No way. The suicide chicken. Oh, that's a Dragonite. Now they can get the Dragonite. With the suicide chicken going in, that is likely going to be another DK. Jojo is sitting here in the middle. Oh, Urel is back. So is Rhaegar. Hoga at the top is getting bullied immediately by Diablo. And at the bottom, Catapults are again on the core. Catapults are here. Psychotora is hearthing back for some instant hit points and mana. They want the DK. And they will likely claim it. They don't want Stukov on it though, I guess. Yeah, they want someone else. They want... Oh, careful! The Dragonite has been claimed. They took it after all with Stukov, with a healer. It's a 5 versus 5. 27 minute in. Here comes the Dragonite. And it's going to be a right click on the core. 69%. 69%. They just got to right click the hell out of it. Dragonite is moving over. They need to focus it, but they're just going to go straight for the core. Rest of the team gets wind tunneled here. DK starts to take it out. Rest of the team needs to focus it as well. Shield is gone. 50%. Here's the moment. 30%. 25. They're losing heroes quickly, but not quickly enough. 10%, and it is game. Squeal Team 6, 3rd place in the tournament, and the Anti-Clown Association moves on to the grand final. GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.